Good evening.
Everywhere I go on this island, it seems to me I find degeneracy.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. See, it's a lot scarier when there's no motive, Sid.
We have a bargain.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes.
Do you feel the pain? Or is the pain, I can assure you, will be exquisite.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes.
His entire work consists of violence, all the time, obsessed with the issue of violence. Mayhem, gouging out of eyes, autopsies on the stage.
Come. It is time to keep your appointment.
Good evening, folks. Thank you for joining us for episode 218 of Double Feature Horror Show. Yeah, I sort of had to check myself. That didn't seem right. 218, my goodness. I hope you are well this week. We are covering A Nightmare on Elm Street remake as part of our coverage of 2000s era horror movies, especially the 2000s era horror remakes, aka the Platinum Dunes wave. And we've got something actually made by Platinum Dunes this week. So for once, the weird little moniker that I use for them is not so inappropriate. And we'll also be making a slightly rare defense of it. I know it's not got a particularly strong reputation in the community. I can already see John saying "no bueno, no bueno." How about the rest of you, chat? Are you fans of this, or am I going to have to fight really hard to build up the reputation of A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010? I don't know. Well, I'm not doing this alone. Unfortunately, I cannot be joined by Murgoot this week. He sent us a message saying he won't be there. He's saying it's 7 hosings in and Will Stancil still hasn't put the lotion on his skin. So he's gonna keep going. Murgoot is persistent.
That Stancil fella is a right stubborn little bugger, isn't he?
I think he likes the hosing.
I think
that's
he does.
why he doesn't put the lotion back in the basket.
Mm-hmm.
However, those tones let everyone know that my other regular co-host, TCG, you are with us tonight and carrying on the Cassidy quest.
Oh, yes. I love how this became just a Supernatural-esque, like loose end trilogy of just a random woman who was in Supernatural for a few episodes of season 3. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. What do you know? You find these little threads, you just got to yank them, right?
Well, yeah, I was talking to my wife earlier, and I was saying to her like how the first 2 films had Katie Cassidy in it, and then you mentioned this one, and we were just like, well, why don't you just make it a trilogy? Let's go. I'm sure if Katie Cassidy ever sees this, she'll appreciate it. If you're watching this, Katie, hi. Yeah. Subscribe to that crime guy, Katie. Come on, I know you like true crime. You loved a bit of true crime, didn't you, Katie Cassidy?
Spread the word. You know, we're so happy to cover your horror remake trilogy, Ms. Cassidy. Although I will draw a line at the Arrowverse.
Yeah. Well, depend. Yeah, The Flash was all right for the first few seasons, and then that turned into an absolute night. You know, it's bad when even my son, who was, prepubescent at the time, was like, "Dad, why is the Flash not in his own show half the time?"
Really?
Yeah. He's like, I don't care about these other like female characters and these side characters. Like, I don't care about them. And also, I don't like the fact that the Flash isn't fighting anymore. He seems to be talking his way to victory. He's like, no. And I'm like, boy.
So he gets the Mad Max treatment, the Fury Road treatment. My goodness.
Yeah.
When they sort of de-rank the Flash in his own show for female characters, did they call it the Gash?
No. No. They called it the Flush.
Good. Oh, the Flush.
The Thrush, even. The Thrush.
Thrush. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
But that being said, I mean, I am a John Wesley Shipp Flash kind of guy because I did own the pilot, the 2-part pilot of the Flash, the 1990 series, and I did watch that first season. And so I've always had I do like the fan service because they obviously John Wesley Shipp was in the remakes, but in terms of the modern era, I'd love to see Grant Gustin don that don that gear. And I think James Gunn is a huge Grant Gustin fan as well. And there's a bit of back and forth between them two on the old socials, which kind of allude to him maybe doing it one day. So, he's got this new DCEU thing going on. I'd be intrigued. I'd be intrigued. Yeah. Ezra Miller was just an absolute car crash.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Well, maybe Gunn will go for it. Maybe we should have Connor on the stream for this stuff. He loves this stuff.
Yeah,
he's deep into it. Well, I should have noted actually we've already had a couple of superstars send in super chats already. Distant Knight sent in 5 Aussie dollars, sort of setting the tone for what we have to work with TCG to bring people around, saying that smush face Jackie Haley is a Timu Robert Englund. Oh. Terrible choice for daddy old razor thingies. Yeah, Dardy. I'm not sure. Typo.
No, that might be an Australian
Could
thing.
be Aussie.
I think it probably makes sense if you go smush face Jackie Haley is a Timu Robert Englund. Terrible choice for Dardy old razor fingies.
See, now it sounds better.
There you go, mate.
I should have tried it with the Aussie shitposter accent, and we'll bring you round. Look, I'm going to mount a defense of this film. Though admittedly, Jackie L. Haley's performance is maybe not one that I can defend, but I'll bring you around on other stuff, guys. I'll bring you around that way.
I'm just going to say it now. You're not the only one who would mount a somewhat of a defense of this film. I don't think it's as bad as what people make. I mean, obviously, Robert Englund is iconic in this role and, irreplaceable.
Of course.
It's kind of like Christopher Reeve and Superman. It's back with the comic book references again. But it's kind of like you have these iconic characters and then they're they are replaced by a subpar performer, if you will, and it doesn't quite resonate. But I don't think it's as bad.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I have been called out, bless him, by Lawrence. Thank you very much. Using a member chat, you too can be an awesome member like Lawrence.
Nice.
And get access to to exclusive content and vote on what we cover. Thank you, Lawrence. A Nightmare on Elms. Yeah, I should have just written the whole thing. I shorthanded it. Something this gets right that the other one doesn't is the first one makes no mention of Elm Street whatsoever.
Oh, does it not?
No. It's not mentioned anywhere. You never see a street sign.
Really?
You have to yes. You have to presume they live on Elm Street, but the phrase Elm Street is mentioned not once. Although while we're trivia posting, and folks, if you want to learn a lot more about the original Nightmare on Elm Street, I actually have a full commentary on it on this channel, which you can find. So quick shill. Where Elm Street actually comes from, and it gives you a little clue at what's going on in the film. What some of the subtext Wes Craven was working on was Elm Street was where President Kennedy was shot. Dun, dun, dun.
I did not know that.
That might give you a little bit of a clue. Yeah, shot on Elm Street. There you go. So you found someone defending it. Yeah, we're not alone.
I did. It was actually where I got this picture from. It's from a website called No But Listen. The headline, I haven't even looked at the headline, but
let's get that picture up for everyone.
It says, in defense, sort of, in open and closed brackets, of the 2010 A Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I feel like this might be brilliant. I feel like this might be one that I think if people watch it now, I feel like it would. Yeah, people might have a slightly different perspective. I mean, I even saw, I think it was Dr. Prepper said, yeah, he expected worse based on what he'd heard before viewing. I feel like a lot of people, they're because this wasn't that far away from the Freddy versus Jason film, if I recall.
No, it really wasn't.
So you know, Robert Englund could have definitely come back into the role. I hope.
He could have. I think he said he wanted. He did. He gave his blessing. He approved the performance. Sorry, I realised I left something off my chart here. Oops. Oopsie doopsie.
Oopsie.
Yeah, he knew they wanted to go in a slightly different direction, and he approved it. But he was still getting approached for like, hey, we might want to do something else around this, or there's been talk very recently about, hey, maybe we reboot Elm Street as a TV series, and he had come back for that. So
right,
he's whether he's too old or not is difficult. Oh, apologies. I'm sorry, I've just seen this from Distant Night, who sent in 2 super chats saying, speaking of the G word, oh gosh. Oh no. Nancy's mum's a word with special. Oh dear. Just deeply disturbing. So I can't actually see the special wood shins for Chris and Nancy. Well, who doesn't? There's something of the nice art to Nancy, I've got to say. Also, when it comes to finding things on the channel, Plan 9 from Outer Space is still on private.
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about that.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I noticed that in my Discord they were saying they were talking about Plan 9, and I did say I'll have a chat, and they did say you did respond, but then it was still unavailable.
Oh, I got the notice today that it was freed from copyright jail, but I don't know why it would be on private.
Maybe you need to manually put it back to public, or
I'll have a look at that Distant Night. Thank you. Give me a prompt, and I'll try and remember. But yeah, as we're going to, basically, the reputation around this film is awful. And that's something I find a bit interesting, because when we're doing this series, I've got a sort of, one of my purposes is to just look at these changes between the remakes and the originals. And something I kind of want to impress on people, maybe slightly heretical, is like TCG, a lot of these films, you go to the original, it's not that great. You know, it's kind of fun, but a lot of them, they're pretty sloppy. You know, like people can put the OGs on a bit of a pedestal, but when you go back and look at them, they can be pretty darn goofy, right?
The old ones, you mean?
Yeah, the original set again.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Although with the original Nightmare on Elm Street, obviously that had a far more darker tone to it than obviously what Freddy Krueger ultimately became. But I mean, yeah, this was off the back of, obviously we had some pretty good horror remakes. I mean, obviously there was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, House of Wax, which I still think was all right. Obviously you had Friday the 13th the year before this, which again I feel is a solid movie. But yeah, for some reason this one just didn't land. But I don't know whether I wonder if people just forgot how dark Freddy was in the first film compared to the pretty much the cereal box character he became later on.
That might have been in, because I think something we see in these is a clash between the expectation and the reality. And yeah, if they are remaking it, a lot of awkward stuff gets trimmed out, but sometimes you have a reset to what the original was like. And it's not the comedy wisecracking Freddy. It's much closer to a really just dark, sadistic dude. And they even go and develop how dark and sadistic he is. And I think a really good direction in this. That's going to be one of the main things I use to defend this, is they kind of fill fill in a bit of missing logic from the original.
Yeah, I'd
That
say
makes
so.
it a bit stronger.
I'm getting the word.
Yeah, that word indeed. Yeah, the
That
Haribo
word.
special, the
Yep.
thing that the series like kind of didn't want to touch, really. They
Yeah.
did not want to address the question of like, so is Freddy just like child killer, or is he is he a bit of a diddler? Like, what's
It's
going on?
it's I feel like yeah, oh man, I don't want to go too mad for the cat because I know the captions will pick up on it, but you know, if he is one, then he is likely the other as well.
Mm,
You
yeah.
know, and yeah, it kind of the original does kind of like you say, it just sort of moves aside the hey diddly diddly portion of that and just goes, nah,
Mm.
he's just a bit of a murderer, but it kind of maybe that's another thing people didn't like about it because again, Freddy's such an iconic character. He's kind of like, wait a minute, wait, we can't like this guy now.
Mm. Yeah, it does. It's weird how like he can off kids and you
Ooh.
can still have a chuckle, but
Yeah, yeah. Although
but
racism says, sorry, racism says,
right.
I just got that. Brilliant, brilliant. He was going to be a diddler, and they dialed it back due to something in the news at the time. This is in the original.
Mm,
Wow. Okay,
interesting.
that is interesting. Yeah.
I know it was something that was debated, and it's where they pulled their punch, and then of
Right.
course Craven was kind of out of it from the sequels, and then it was just developed in a much lighter fashion from then on.
Mm,
And yeah, in this one they have confirmed it. There's some interesting stuff that Lawrence has posted here, saying Jay from Red Letter Media, a series. The channel getting a bit of heat at the moment, which I'm not going to fight too hard at, to be honest. As much as I admire them, I wouldn't say they're doing the best stuff these days, but who am I to say anyway? So Jay from Red Letter Media was briefly on the set in this film and claims to have overheard Jackie L. Haley trashing the original, which he had only watched for the first time the night before in preparation. That is an interesting one. So, yeah, so I had heard that Jackie L. Haley really wanted a big distance between himself and the original, so that he was trying to get out of England's shadow.
I see.
Um,
Well,
but
I mean,
one thing that is quite well known is that Jackie L. Haley put Johnny Depp forward for the auditions for the first one, and Johnny Depp obviously got it, and Jackie L. Haley didn't.
oh really? Oh, so what?
Awkwardly.
Hang on. So what? So Jackie L. Haley auditioned for the original Johnny Depp character.
Yeah. I don't know if it
What?
was the original, if it was Johnny Depp character, but he auditioned for the original film.
What? I did not know that.
Mm. Oh, yes, indeed. Yeah.
Ah, well, there you go. Well, do you know what? I thought the most impressive thing about his performance in this film was that he didn't need to do any makeup.
It's just a ginger. Just a
Yeah.
ginger, that's all you need.
Mm.
Let's make this a bit. There we go. I like these titles. Oh, I did save here, look at this. Our actual first Platinum Dunes. Look at it. An actual Platinum Dunes film in the Platinum Dunes wave. Nothing else has been. Well, Friday the 13th, 2009, but you know.
In spirit, the others
Yes.
have been.
And folks, if you haven't watched me and TCG doing a commentary for Friday the 13th, 2009, go look that back up. That's recent. That was good times.
Do it.
Oh, and Lawrence is also referencing Jackie L. Haley's excellent job as a Haribo enjoyer in the 2006 film Little Children. Very good movie. I wouldn't
I've
say
not
it's
seen that one.
jolly. Yeah, it's not a
Oh,
laugh a minute, but you know, it's pretty memorable. He's a convincing Haribo appreciator.
oh,
Grim film, to be honest.
oh.
Oh dear,
Ew.
Distant Night. I've not brought Distant Night around yet.
Give it time.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it. Look, there is, you know, we'll do the pint of Guinness summary, but I'll make my defense now, right? Since we're talking about the Haribo aspect, right? This is something that genuinely makes this film better in one way than the original, right? Now, I'm not saying you absolutely have to do the do I have the, I don't know if I've got the creepy thing saved. Ugh. We'll get this one up instead. Darn it. Okay. Right, so the nonce aspect actually elevates this film. Why does it elevate this film? Well, in the original, Freddy is offing kids, and then due to an administrative error, so purely a paperwork error, he gets off. And the parents then have to enact justice, and this causes Freddy to come back and then start enacting revenge on the parents' kids. There's not as much of a connection there, right? And also it becomes very, very questionable why the parents did anything wrong. Like the original does not in any way dispute that Freddy did it. You know, it's just that, oh, the parents shouldn't have taken it into their own hands, right? So how the parents are treated as being morally failing, no, that's a major flaw in the original. This one has a different spin on it. The fact that the children are the actual stars of this are actual victims as children with repressed memories means that Freddy now functions as kind of a cohesive, coherent analogy. Freddy is basically their trauma coming back to them as memories and them having to deal with it, them remembering the horrible things that happened to them as children, and then not being able to cope because basically from the outside world, all you see is them, you know, taking themselves out, right? So
yeah, Chris is a bit of some of the others perhaps less so. Like, you know,
yeah, Chris is maybe a bit vigorous into it. You know, she throws herself in, but from the outside, especially this first one, Dean.
Yeah,
it's kind of showing that what we've got is basically an analogy for just, you know, the victims coming to terms with it and not being able to deal with it. So yeah, there we go. I think that is a big improvement. Freddy now working as a nice actual metaphor. Also, and the parents here, again, still didn't do anything wrong, and they're not treated as villainous for it. So already, we have an improvement.
Yeah, I did find it funny though when they tried to sort of do this like twist midway, when they sort of reveal, you know, yeah, we enacted this justice, you know, we took care of him, and they were like, yeah, but did you have any proof? And they were like, well, you guys told us, and they were like, well, we were three, we would say anything. Well, okay. And I'm thinking, oh my God, because I hadn't watched this for ages. I completely forgot about this bit. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't tell me Freddy was innocent. And then, yeah, you get to the end scene and it's like, oh no, wait, no, he's definitely guilty. Definitely guilty.
Yep. You know, they did toy with the idea of Freddy being innocent.
Really?
And that would make it, you know, coherent as well. Then you could actually blame the parents. And it would sort of give a justification for why Freddy was so, you know, twisted going for the kids. So it could have worked, but
it could have, yeah.
I also like the idea that I like what they've got here, basically, you know. And maybe it's my own bias, but I'm kind of won over by the idea of the system's bureaucracy failed, and so the parents had to step up. So yeah,
they all became Dexter for a night.
Exactly. And you know, I do note that we've got Ms. Cassidy on screen right now. Whoop, whoop. What do you think was better here, TCG? Her performance in this,
Mm-hmm.
or in the music video for Eminem's "Just Lose It"?
I can't remember her performance in the music video for Just Lose It, so I will have to say this.
It's fair. It's fair. I had to mention it. I had to throw it in. I saw it on a wiki, and I thought,
All right,
I thought we got
it now.
Are you? Bless. Oh,
Multiple
apparently. So,
times.
I wasn't in any way disparaged. It turns out Distant Night was referring to Red Letter Media's analysis as shite, and not myself. Thank you, DK. Thank you. It's good to know. I've got the reputation. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that. Just Harry's been not having it with the Plinkett reviews, going back and saying a lot of these criticisms don't actually hold up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a bold defense. I mean, there is some very good stuff in the Plinkett reviews, but yeah, also some howlers that do not work if you think about them. But
Brilliant.
I won't get us dragged down in that debate. So I don't know. Do we need to do a pint of Guinness summary for A Nightmare on Elm Street? Or is
I
this
mean,
one of like...
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if you don't understand the premise of the original one, or if you know the premise of the original one, then it's pretty much the same as this one.
Yeah, it's
Like, you go to sleep, you die. But yeah, there's obviously a connection to the children to Freddy. That's slightly different. But yeah, it does sort of play a lot from the same beats from the original, which I thought was quite cool.
yeah. Let's lay it out quickly here for you folks. It is largely the same, but with a few twists to get you thrown off the beat. This is something the remakes like to do occasionally, especially the later remakes. They would play with the fan expectations and give you a little swerve. Great examples would be the Pet Sematary remake. Don't know if I should give spoilers for that, but there's a few instances where they really directly play with what you were expecting to happen if you know the original. And this one is setting up our girl Chris here, Katie Cassidy, to be the main star, but then does kill her in the same way, and we still get Nancy. But it's just sort of interesting that Nancy is pushed into the background for a lot of the film. But in essence, just in case you don't know, a group of teenagers finds themselves haunted in their dreams and dying in their dreams, and then dying in real life when they're hunted down by Freddy Krueger. As they try and convince adults around them that this is happening, they dig into the past and find out that they had a connection to him. That connection is a big difference from the original, that they were not just sort of around Freddy, but direct victims of him as children, not of being killed, as happened in the original, but being hariboed up. Feels kind of awful to have to trivialize it with the YouTube code, but there we are.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, because it is grim stuff. It's grim stuff. Yeah, that's it. Really, I mean, you get down the same characters are oft. You end up with, I just want to call him Kyle. Kyle. Did they give him the same name? Did they change it? Is he still a Glenn?
I am terrible with bloody names, as you well know. So
yeah,
no,
he's not a Glenn. He's a Quentin.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Quentin. Yeah.
That's what threw me off. All right. So instead of Glenn,
is that it? Hold
on.
Sorry, no. Just because I was watching the Just Lose It video. Did she just literally pull up in a car and drive? Is that it?
Might be that. I just thought because of the Eminem connection, I had to. Yes, in these goings down, they remade Pet Sematary very, very late. The horror remakes, which was focusing on the general sort of lower brow 80s stuff, was kind of petering out by this point. But we started to head into a bit of a new wave of remakes after this. They were still kind of sputtering about, you had some later ones like The Crazies, but they moved on to a kind of new wave of Stephen King remakes, and you got obviously It, and then because It did so very well in 2017, I want to say in 2019, they did a remake of Pet Sematary, and they were really sleazy about it. They made a poster that featured 5 children, just like It. Even though those kids are in like one scene in the film and have very little to do with it. But hey, it's another Stephen King horror movie with a group of kids. Please pay money. So even though they were pretty shady on the poster, the Pet Sematary remake is extremely good, and I defend it greatly. I want to revisit it because I did an analysis very, very early in the days of the channel that frankly was not very good. And I'd like to revisit it and sort of phrase things a bit better. But in short, give it a go. There are some very good changes made to it. And I will not mention them now so that you can enjoy them.
I think it's still bad. I haven't watched any of the films, the original, the remake, any of the sequels. I've only ever read the book.
Mm. Oh, right.
Yeah, I've never watched a Pet Sematary film. That's bad.
Really? My
That's
goodness.
bad. That's bad.
No, it's not as bad as like you know.
Well, I
Forgive
haven't.
me for not having watched The Shinings.
That's very true. That is very true. And I don't.
Mm.
But to be fair, I don't think Harrian's forgiven me for not watching Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but he doesn't know Destiny's Child, so
That's very true. That is very true. Yeah, you mentioned the Crazies. Actually, I bloody loved. I actually only watched that fairly recently, and oh, mate, what a film!
it's
So
good fun, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and it's
love
got
it. It goes in weird places that you just don't expect.
yeah, and actually going back talking about the Flash. It's got I think what's her name, Hayden Panettiere. No, it's not her, but it's got the
Panettiere?
girl who. No, oh, I can't remember her bloody name now, but she's the one who plays Caitlin Snow. She's in the Crazies. I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she is. Good film.
Mm.
Good film, though. Good film.
Nice. Yeah, we'll give it a bit of appreciation. People are also appreciating Kyle Gellner and talking about him. Yeah, I liked seeing him this. He's one of these guys, TCG, I never paid attention to, and now I see him everywhere.
Oh,
You
okay.
like Jennifer's Body, Smile, Smile 2, Scream. That's the 2020. Oh gosh, 2022 Scream.
Gonna
Why
have to
do I
look.
have to think about that?
What does he look like? Let's have a look and see what he looks like.
Was it 2020? No, it wasn't 2025. That was
Oh,
last
him.
year. Yeah, him. He's a guy
Oh,
playing
yeah.
Quentin. Let me get him up here.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, please do.
Where is it? Oh, here he is in a rather excellent dream sequence.
Yeah, that was good. That was.
Can I put it to you, TCG? He's better than Johnny Depp in this. Like Johnny Depp, Glenn, inoffensive, background character, kind of funny, gets a bit of a funny scene. Kyle Gellner, he gets to, he's a soulful guy.
He's definitely more reliable than Johnny Depp's character.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, he's more fleshed out. I felt like from the original film, a lot of the side characters were very sort of like one dimensional. Like they had their role. If I remember correctly, Johnny Depp was the jock guy. You had.
Yeah.
I can't remember the chap again. I'm terrible with the names, but you had the one chap who was a bit of the rebellious one,
Yeah.
the one who was accused of obviously killing. This version's Chris, I should say. Yeah, they were kind of one dimensional, but he had more of a significant role. He was kind of almost like a protector to Nancy in a way.
Yeah, he was just
in
rubbish
this.
at it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, this Quentin. Yeah, he is more of a protector. He's more active.
Yeah, exactly, precisely.
Something I'm really interested in every time I watch this. It's like I'm interested in the idea this film has of what a teenager is like. Like the teenagers in Elm Street, like everything, there's stuff going on, but they kind of live in this sunny world. where
Mm.
everything's quite optimistic, and it's weird that they are, you know, encountering these nightmarish things. And then, like this one, the idea of the teenager is this kind of My Chemical Romance post Buffy. Actually, as a teenager, we're just dealing with so much stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're living in this heavy, dark world, man. And I'm like, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm just really interested in the conception this film has.
Mm.
Like they don't. It.
They're more
How does
complex,
that?
aren't they?
Yeah. How does
Yeah.
that strike you?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, I would agree. Again, and it's not just the original Nightmare. You know, you've got the original Halloween, very sort of similar sort of style of characters. Haddonfield, very nice. Everyone's very happy, jolly, yada yada yada. Yeah, it almost feels a bit cliche to a degree. Whereas, yeah, the characters, I think that they are more complex. But yeah, no, I would agree. I would agree.
Yeah, I find that really interesting. Like
Mm.
a very sort of zeitgeist thing. Like just the
Mm.
mood of it. It's not your teen. It's like your teen gang in your 50s is your Secret Seven or your Famous Five. Apologies, Americans, if that makes Hardy Boys. Is that what you guys like? Yeah, or Hardly Boys. You know, they get these clues, these raging clues. I don't know what Americans watch anyway. But for us, it's sort of like 1950s. It's all quite pleasant, you know, having picnics, catching jippos, whatever you got up to back then. And then
Mm.
for our age, it's like grim stuff, like grim urban stuff. Like I find that
Yeah.
really interesting. Just that conception of the teenager shifting. I think it tells us quite a lot.
I'd agree.
One of the interesting things about horror movies is just sort of like reflecting the national psyche at the time. Even if it's not absolutely dead on, even if it's, say, pushing a kind of studio angle, like we all know there are certain things studios like to include that may not be particularly common in real life. But even so, like the general direction is quite interesting in telling you what's going on, even if it doesn't necessarily intend to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, like, yeah, look at films nowadays. You've got the smartphone generation, haven't you? And how everything is just interconnected into smartphones. I mean, we're watching me and the missus. We haven't finished watching it yet, but we're watching. No. Sorry, actually, tell a lie. We did finish this film. It was on Prime. It's one of those like crappy, proper, like very small budget films. It's called Play or Die.
Play or Die.
Play or Die.
Wait, is that the one we watched?
Sorry, Share or Die. I beg your pardon.
Oh, Share or Die.
Yeah, Share or Die. And it's just smartphones, basically. It's just it tries to sort of like tell a commentary about how the smartphones have just basically eroded any kind of empathy and any sort of like social bond with people. But it's just a fucking awful film. But the whole concept of it is there's this you know like the old chainmail messages. It's like that. So you get this message, and there's two rules. You either share something about yourself personally, publicly on social media, or you share the post to somebody, but not the person who sent it to you, and you have a minute to decide. And if you haven't shared it within a minute or posted, you die. And it's just ridiculous. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like it sounds interesting in concept, but trust me, the execution of this film was awful.
Good.
But it is a film that could. But what I mean. But sorry, just sort of going back to the point. It's the kind of film that could be made today because it is reflective in a way of the society that we live in now. Everything is is social media and smartphones. And again, I'm going to mention my son again for the second time. But we were watching something. I can't remember what it was, and something was happening, and everybody had their smartphones out and they were recording it. And my boy just
Mm.
looked at it, and he said he's done this a couple of times. He's noticed this, and he'll just go, "Oh, look, Dad, those people aren't living in the moment, are they?" And it's just like, wow, wow.
Sorry, the phrasing of that really tickled me.
I know. Oh,
Oh,
brilliant.
bless you, Murgoot. You have a nap. Good to see you, man.
Coming to get you, bitch.
I hope you feel better. Yeah, this may not be the Nightmare on Elm Street review people are expecting, but I think you can see a million things trashing it. I think the substance of this is quite interesting. So, like that mobile phone film, it sort of you reminded me of. Do you remember the wave of really late 90s, early 2000s spoopy internet horrors?
Yes.
And it's
yes.
like it's like something that jams into your life so much that the movies sort of have to represent it somehow, even if they do it really awkwardly. The fact that they sort of feel they have to do it is quite revealing.
Yeah. What do you prefer? Do you prefer films that that comment on comment on current technology, i.e., those sorts of films that would use the internet as kind of the big spoopy, or
Hmm.
horror films that would look at like data technology, like The Ring?
Oh gosh, that's a really interesting question. Like The Ring at the time was just very contemporary,
Okay.
and there's a bit of a nice nostalgic thing to it. There's a few things where the storyline is about trying to get to old tech, and I quite like that storyline. People may know a Cowboy Bebop episode about trying to find something on Betamax, which feels poignant. When people try and base things around very current technology or like very current trends, like it really has a chance of becoming horrifically dated.
Oh, big time.
So I have to go for the old stuff just for the moment. I think if you want to try and get at something about modern tech, you should try and get the phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
That makes it interesting. So a really great example would be Black Mirror's White Bear, which we
Okay.
covered. And that has people, when there's a tragedy happening in front of them, everyone's just on their phone.
Yeah, not living in the moment.
Yeah, not living in the moment at all. And yet the thing is, it's not so much about, oh wow, you've got a cool phone, and they don't really show you close up on people's phones and like, oh, what they're streaming on, etc. But it's more about the phenomenon that people are using phones as an intermediary, and they've sort of stopped seeing the real world as real, and the screens are real to themselves. That they're living in this hyper-normalized sort of intermediary state.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a phenomenon that I think is a lot more interesting than the tech, and that's how you can make a story good.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you just focus it on the actual tech, something like, I don't know, a haunted Windows Media Player skin. Ooh, spooky. It just becomes distracting.
But no, but I love that you mentioned the fact that people will see something bad like in these films, and the first thing they'll do is they'll whip out their phones. It speaks to real life. I mean, how many videos have you seen floating around social media of somebody recording on their smartphone I don't know, someone's been stabbed, or someone's been attacked, and the person filming on their phone will say, "Someone call the police." It's like, my dude, do you not realize what you're holding?
I mostly hear them shout "World Star."
All that, yeah.
That's just
all
me.
that. But yeah, many a time I've heard someone phoned the police, and it's just like, well, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Why
Can
don't
I
you?
throw? You had a really great question for me. I mean, which way do you prefer it? Do you like the retro tech? Do you think the current tech?
No, I prefer retro. I do prefer retro, because I feel like some of the times when people try and comment on current tech, I feel like they don't really fully understand the subject matter, like the subject matter itself. Which is why you have you know, like when you see these films, like you say you use the internet, and like when hacking became a thing,
Oh, great example.
I just think of hacking and just how cheesy and just how just how poorly portrayed hackers are in media. It doesn't resonate with the reality. Um, Far less glamorous. Not that I would know, but I the reality is it's far less glamorous than what these people than what you see in the films and TV.
Absolutely. OS Wolf also threw in an interesting one, maybe a way bigger topic, but does art follow life or the other way around?
Oh,
What do you reckon,
art.
TCG?
They say art imitates life, doesn't it?
Mm.
I mean, yeah, I'm kind of an art imitates life kind of guy. I think if you look at again, if you look socially, how I don't know, things like hip hop, for example, have influenced culture, especially when it became more mainstream.
Mm. I'm a bit more skeptical. But I'd say I think it's a feedback loop. Like,
Okay.
on YouTube, it's not super safe to talk about it so much, but there are many examples of trends that were basically forced into the public consciousness through just relentless mass media. So I'll give you I can give a relatively safe example now, and you can look that up. But back in the day, your boy Connor on the Lotus Eaters covered how storylines were put into British soap operas, particularly Coronation Street. And like that's literally sort of nudging people, and you sort of see memes that were pushed in mass media take off and be adopted. And there are all sorts of these, from sort of literally just sort of making someone famous by forcing them through art. But on the other hand, it's a feedback loop, because sometimes it doesn't take with people, or the art does need to sort of approximate what people are feeling, which is why things that, the MCU, there's a current example. All those Marvel movies that were very, very progressive, and people just didn't want to see them. So you can try and force it, but it often doesn't take. And sometimes people do just latch on to something because it does resonate. So there's a tension. Like, media is used to influence people, but also it can get rejected and sort of demand, or another way to say, in a kind of death of the author way, that people can take what the art is and reinterpret it and sort of jam it back into a sort of a new form in some cases. So
Yeah.
maybe hopefully an interesting response for you, OS Wolf, there.
Indies goings down for 5. Thank you.
Ooh,
Says
this is your area, right?
Yeah, you guys ever check out the no budget analog horror stuff on YouTube? Some cool stuff was done, like Gemini Home Entertainment and Backrooms. We haven't covered it on here, but if you want Backrooms content, like reviewing like Backrooms, I would strongly recommend Brugly. If you haven't watched his stuff, he talks a lot about the Backrooms and the things that go on there. But Gemini Home Entertainment, I am familiar with. I bloody love, and I love analog horror. I think and the ARG stuff as well, horror show. There's no reason why we can't look at this sort of stuff as maybe sort of like an arc one time in the future.
Oh, I'd be up for it.
Because
Absolutely.
I mean, the stuff that's out there, like the really good stuff. One of my favorites is this guy. He's hammering something like 17 times or something, and then he gets a prize, and then he's almost like stuck in a time loop, but every now and again something slightly different will happen. It's bloody brilliant. I'm trying to think what it's called now, but it's like, oh god, what is it called? And yeah, I did actually it this was going back a couple of years now, so I can probably say I won't give any details. I won't give too much detail, just in case it ever comes to fruition. But I did actually record some audio for someone that I know who was looking to do an ARG style horror thing on their channel. But yeah, nothing ever came of it, unfortunately. But I still have the recordings just in case. But yeah, I love that sort of stuff. The ARGs, analog horror. I'll tell you another thing that I like as well is there is like a new sort. Well, I say new, but there is like a whole genre of horror games, which are basically just PS1 graphics, really, and it's like its own niche. Some of the games that these independent artists make, these independent creators make, are really, really creative. Fears to Fathom's one that sort of springs to mind, I think. Yeah, there's a whole host of them. Hold on a second. Boyo. Hold on a second. Need to call him by name. What's those series of horror games? The PS1 graphics. What's it called? Chiller's Art, sorry. Yeah, Chiller's Art. Look up Chiller's Art. They are bloody brilliant.
I think we've got a feature arc here.
Yeah, Chiller's Art. You look up Chiller's Art. Those games are brilliant.
Nice.
Really, really good.
Yeah. Thank you very much in these goings down. I think well worth a look. We could definitely do that. I think I looked at Gemini Home Entertainment and I liked it. So yeah. Let's back to it. I suppose I should sort of yank us onto the topic.
Yes.
Again.
If you're new to the channel, this is what we do.
I suppose. We've had this on the screen for quite a few minutes. So the reason I'd got it up there was this. It was worth talking about some of the dream sequences, I thought.
Did you get Ghostbusters vibes?
Ooh, no.
Just
from this in particular?
Yeah, from this scene, because when he's in the library and that little girl's there, and then sort of the camera pans and then she disappears. It's just that's it. Yes, this is it. I just in my head instantly, I just thought of that one scene from Ghostbusters. I know it has nothing to do with what happens in the scene, and it's obviously not like some sort of callback or anything like that. But I thought library, sort of ghost girl.
Yeah, I like the girl as a recurring motif, although I did wonder if, because they were all victims, should they sort of see themselves as kids rather than it all sort of being this one? But I don't know. When it moved into this dream sequence, I like the subtle thing. So just look, here we can see the tops of the shelves.
Yep.
And then the next step, when he goes to follow her and he's lost her, just the framing cuts the tops off. And it really just sort of gets him in like this endless maze. You know, brilliant stuff. Just a nice subtle detail of like that unreality of the dream world was quite nicely done. I wouldn't say it was all done nicely, but for an original one, this was quite good. When Nancy is running after Freddy in the end and sort of the carpet sort of melts away, I thought that is a kind of copied scare from the original, but it worked really well. How did you feel about the dream sequences in this?
Yeah, I liked them. One of the things I feel like they did quite well, mostly speaking, was the special effects, and it kind of made me think, you know what, right? I would have loved it if the original story had these 2010 special effects. I felt like they were quite good, quite creative. When they were oh my god, yeah, when they were doing the callbacks to some of the original deaths from the original films, like Chris's, for example, when I that kind of felt a little bit over the top. I mean, because obviously in the original it's just sort of like on the wall, up you go, on the ceiling, done. But they went full on sort of supernatural throw. We could kill you anytime we want, Sam and Dean, but we're just going to throw you and pin you to a wall with our psychic abilities. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say the sound effects when Chris is being chucked around the room are a bit.
Yeah.
It's like the intern was given the job, you know.
Yeah.
If maybe I watched it too many times, but yeah, that was slightly dodge.
Yeah. So I mean, I think some of them were. What I tell you, what I did like actually in this scene was with the sort of the transition from the library to the boiler room.
Yeah, they did that nicely. They did that very nicely.
And then they did that again a bit later on when they go to that convenience store. When they go to that convenience store and he's trying to get the meds, and she goes, and it's really cool because he goes in to go and try and get like extra meds. And obviously she goes in after, but she's now in a dream sequence. And it's sort of flashing between the boiler room and the convenience store, like stuff's coming off the counters when he's like swiping his arm. He seems to be the veil, if you will, for reality in the dream world does seem to be a lot thinner than it does, like, because obviously I know again they sort of follow the same beat from the first one where they literally make physical contact to drag him out of the dream world, but it doesn't feel like but it does feel like that veil between those two realities are a lot closer. Just through those little touches.
I loved that scene. Like,
I did.
So they did make a change, but I think this absolutely sells hard the desperation they have to stay awake. And I love that. Like, if you were in their situation, really trying to push it, you would be getting kind of crazy. Kyle Gellner plays that crazed lack of sleep really well.
Yeah.
In the original, I like it. It's kind of played for laughs to an extent that, you know, they have to just keep chugging coffee. But him just like, you know, downing meds, I love the desperation of it and them losing it in a pharmacy. I was such a fan of that scene. That played really well.
I did find it odd that Nancy constantly rejected his offers for like the adrenaline and the, you know, and the whatever they called it, the ADD drug. But obviously, I think the point of that was to have the payoff at the end, towards the end of the film.
Yeah, it was good. It was good for a setup for that. She could have had a few of them and warmed herself up to it, but there was. It still had her sort of burning herself to stay awake, didn't it? If I recall.
That's right. Yeah, with the older car, with the car lighter.
That kind of desperation, I loved it. Like proper good horror moment. Also, I absolutely love Nancy's aesthetic, and I used to try and look a bit like this in 2010. You know, so I appreciate this.
Yeah, I still wear the beanies. I
appreciate this style. Good, man, good. Sorry, Daniel Hall sent this a few minutes ago. Sorry for taking a while to get to it. Sending in $5, thank you ever so much, saying, do you guys ever listen to any true paranormal documentary podcasts like Tape Library or Pete Law's Into the Fog?
Yes.
I'll hand that one over to you first.
Yes, I mentioned in the chat just now, but yes, Tape Library. I am a subscriber, and I do often listen to him while I'm working my weekend shifts. He's really does some really good stories on that. Other ones as well. Have you ever heard of? If you've heard of Bedtime Stories, I've been listening to them before they got signed up by Mr. Ballin.
Mr. Ballin?
Mr. Ballin, yeah. Who, fun fact, on my old Twitter account used to follow me.
Ooh.
Oh god, that was cringe. But yeah. So they got picked up by Mr. Baldwin a couple of years back. But they do some really good paranormal stuff. They cover sort of like a mixture of like proper paranormal stories like aliens and sort of like creatures in the woods and stuff like that, and some other bits. There was one story that Tape Library did, which was centered around a man who kept getting these phone calls from what they believed to be potentially like an alien, but it all sort of started. He went to his brother's wedding, and this guy went to his brother's wedding, and while he was driving down there, his brother, who was getting married, like drove past, and well, I might be getting that mixed up. Anyway, gets to the wedding, and he's like, "Hey, I saw you drive past me earlier. Like, what was going on?" And the guy was like, "No, I didn't drive. I flew down." And but at the airport, and another thing as well is at the airport, he got approached by this like guy who was just asking him really weird questions, and he was a military guy.
Mm.
He was a military guy, so he thought, "Oh crap, maybe I've been rumbled anyway." So yeah, I'll look it up. I'll look up which story it is, because I'm absolutely butchering it. Because like the characters in this film, I've had very little sleep this last couple of
Oh,
weeks.
bless you.
But yeah, I will actually I will recommend, actually funny, yeah, I will recommend Tape Libraries one of it. I will find it.
While you're finding that, I'll
Yeah.
give my admittedly very disappointing response to no, I've never heard of any of those.
Yeah,
They
you should
sound-
listen.
They sound good fun.
If you listen to anyone, listen to the Tape Library. I've not seen Pete Law's Into the Fog. I've not heard of that one before. But yeah, definitely. Was it that one? The Dolby? No, it's not the Dolby Spook. But yeah, definitely Tape Library is really good.
Yeah, I will happily receive recommendations.
Here we go. Got it.
got it.
The Sudbrink calls. I'll pop that in the chat. But
Sudbrink calls.
oh yeah, it's
Nice.
actually freaky. Yeah, I highly recommend. Don't go now, because you need to stay here. You're locked in. Okay.
You are locked in. Yes.
We made you wait. We made you wait so long that you are not able to leave. You are in our world now, so don't go anywhere until we say. But yeah, the Sudbrink calls.
We
Go
control
and
the
watch them.
horizontal and the vertical.
Correct, and the 4-dimensional.
Yeah. All right. Brilliant. Yeah. I'm so very sad to say I like recommendations, but I am very low on time, and so mostly what I'm listening to, I'm listening to my Bible in a Year podcast. I am listening to a lot of politics, and yeah, that's about it. That's about it. I also sort of I have to have a bit of a cutoff, because sometimes I need to be out in the real world, not listening to stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I don't actually listen to much other film criticism either, because I just find that most channels don't look at things the way I want them to. Which is why I end up making this stuff. But it's sort of, I'm interested more in other realms, but in the world of film criticism, no one is really talking about things the way I want, which is why I end up making this, including these wonderful tangents. So maybe slightly disappointing answer from me, but I like recommendations, and you guys tend to be recommending absolute winners. So I'll be chuffed to hear that. And Sudbrink calls I like the sound of. Oh,
Yeah,
and we've also sorry,
I
DC,
promise you,
go ahead.
you won't be disappointed in that one. Trust me.
All right, lovely. I mean, I do like it. I do like the sound of it.
There's voice recordings. They actually recorded the calls. It's mad.
Nice. And Lawrence is sending in £5. Thank you very much, Lawrence. Always appreciated. Saying, if you're a fellow Kyle Gallner appreciator, I would strongly recommend the 2023 horror films The Passenger and Strange Darling. Also first. No. First member chat, absolutely. But I'm afraid you have pipped thoroughly to the post. But I like those. The Passenger. Have I heard of that? I'm not sure. But, I thought Kyle Gallner was absolutely wonderful in the 2022 Smile. And obviously, Smile 2. So I'd like to see a fair bit more of him. I don't know why he was only in Scream for like 2 minutes, but I guess I liked him. So yeah, it was so weird, because that was my first exposure to him. And then I worked backwards to all of these, including Jennifer's Body, as people mentioned earlier.
Nice.
So Strange Darling, there we go. And chat, Lawrence has been on point with recommendations before, so give that a go. Actually, if we're doing recommendations, can I throw out Meander? Meanders are like a 2020s French film, or French-Canadian. Really good. I thought it was going to be kind of like a rip-off between Saw and Exam.
Okay.
And it kind of is, but it's really well done. It's very nice. It's basically Cube. It's French Cube with a bit
With
more
with le
moral
oh,
stuff going on.
I thought you were gonna say more autism then.
Reduction in autism, but a
Ah,
sort of more philosophical thing going on. Basically, it ends up quite life affirming in a weird way. Highly
okay.
recommended.
I
Also,
if
it's
we
got some bits that will make you wince intensely. Thanks
if
again,
we
Lawrence.
if we are doing recommendations, I wanna close it off by, recommending a early 2000s film. Actually, was it early 2000s? I don't know. It was around that time. Halloween Resurrection. Go and watch that film.
We will indeed. I mean, we were meant to cover it
We were,
tonight, but
to be fair.
we had to bump it. But do not worry, that we haven't escaped it yet. We will.
Katie Cassidy wasn't in that film, so but Busta Rhymes was.
And a nice redhead who turned up in one very good episode of Angel back in the day.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. GB has turned up on Australian times. Terrible. Using a member chat as my longest reigning member. 38
Morning.
months. My goodness, that is impressive. Morning, Professor Property, and morning to you, Mr. GB. I hope all is well. All right, so we've praised the dream sequences. They look good overall. Like, let's be honest, this film looks gorgeous. It's a lovely looking film. You know, a lot of these remakes, they look good. This one, maybe one or two shots you could say the CG is not great, but
Yeah.
what you gonna do?
I think, yeah, I think of that one where Nancy comes through the ceiling in that, and it's almost like a reverse of of how what's his face, Johnny Depp's character
Yeah,
dies. That the CGI blood on that was a bit tacky. I say a bit, it was a lot. It was majorly tacky.
was that where they had to take all the blood off her?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like yeah, okay, I'll give it. That one was. I can defend it whilst also attacking it. I'll give it both. So one, basically they wanted her covered in blood in the hallway because that looks awesome.
Mm.
But then they didn't want her to be stuck looking like that for the rest of the film, so it just goes when she comes through the ceiling and there's not much defense.
Yeah, I wondered that. I did sort of think, well, hang on a minute, what? How did that work?
It was just, it looks nice. But on the other hand, in dream logic, you know, this does sort of happen, just elements just get dropped, and it's kind of like it's tied into a moment that feels like maybe the strongest bit of dream logic is just that bit where you're trying to run away and I think we've all had when like the floor just doesn't move and you cannot run fast. We've all had that dream, I think, and this film actually captures it wonderfully.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. Dr. Prepper actually mentions about the Freddy when he's pressing against Nancy's wall. I didn't think it looked that bad, but for me, the original, you can't CGI that.
No,
It didn't look bad. Like, I'm not
the
saying, yeah,
latex wall is
exactly.
very cheap.
100%, yeah, and it just looks, it does look a lot better in the original. It's not, I say it's not bad in this one, but I just felt like, oh man, you unnecessary use of CGI. Just yeah, latex up the wall, elasticate that wall, and have some fun.
Exactly, it's a cheaper reason. One of the other changes they made, just it's a little one, but it sort of ties into this idea the film has of like what kind of world they live in, is just it's the equivalent of Rod in this, who I don't think is called Rod. Let me just confirm. He's Jesse. Jesse is the Rod equivalent, played by Tom Decker, who I think they already chat has already noted was in the Sarah Connor Chronicles, but something a bit grim, and I'm sorry to mention it, folks, but Tom Decker here, given the subject matter of the film, he I don't know how to say it. He got a bit of the old Hollywood treatment himself in real life,
Oh wow.
which is sort of so it makes it a bit more poignant that he was cast in this. It's a bit grim, really.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor guy.
So, like, yeah, he plays an incredibly intense sort of boyfriend to Chris. Although weirdly, like in some of the weird politics of this film, there's a kind of odd moment where Chris has just, seen her interestingly named boyfriend Dean off himself,
Yeah.
and then
I'm sure that wasn't intentional. The naming of that character.
Yeah, one of the first things we noticed, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Jesse busts into Chris's bedroom after this like it was Scream,
Yeah. And he's wearing the white shirt as well.
He is. He just needs to add that he'd been watching The Exorcist on TV, but it was edited for TV and all the good stuff was cut out. I can't. If I start quoting it, I don't stop. Sorry.
Does the finger wag by the ears? Got a little thing.
It's only a few seconds after that. Like, her boyfriend's died. He is macking on her. Like, I think they do make out after it, even though her boyfriend's just been off.
Yeah, but were they actually boyfriend and girlfriend though?
They were previously.
I mean,
she had broken up with him because he was an a-hole.
But I'm referring to Dean. I don't think were they actually together? Or,
I think they were, or they were rumored to be.
Right, I can't. Yeah, I can't remember because I know she wanted to see him because of the dreams that he'd been having or the nightmares. Rather.
Yeah. Well, anyway, if they did, it's not the only extremely inappropriate kiss in this film. But the main reason I brought this up was just they have him arrested at night. It's just kind of indicative of like that darker world, whereas Rod, I noted, was arrested in the daytime.
Hey, that's right. He was, wasn't he? Because he evaded. That's right. Yes. Oh my god. Yeah. Because they were looking for him, weren't they? And it wasn't until the day later. Was it when Nancy was on her way to school? I think it was. He sort of like jumps her, doesn't he? Like say, "It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Please."
It's indicative of this like much darker world that the kids live in. And he doesn't evade the police. It's just he's got a very harsh time. He's off very quickly.
Yeah.
Rather unpleasantly. And then I suppose kind of like the first one, the film just sort of very swiftly abandons him. And was like, don't worry about what happened to his cellmate.
Oh,
suddenly got him sort of off to that.
Yeah. I did like that when he gets off, and then the inmate just instantly is like, "It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I'm innocent. Get me out of here." It's like, because you would if someone's chest exploded right in front of you, you'd be like, "What? I didn't. Whoa, hold on a minute." Although I did as well. I also like this touch as well when he's like, "Did you know that when the heart stops beating, your brain can fully function for up to 7 minutes, which means we have 6 more minutes of playtime?" And it's kind of like, whoa, wow, okay, brutal,
pretty brutal. Left to the imagination, it's grim. It's grim stuff. And I suppose we should probably address before we forget, like we teased it, but the other extremely inappropriate kiss. I said I was going to bring it up. I had to do it. TCG, what's the problem, man? The two leads, they've earned it. They fought hard together. They've battled alongside each other, and they've had a bit of a historical liking for each other that's been teased through the movie. Like, what's wrong with them having a nice little smooch before taking on a risky task?
Remember when I said that there was a question as to whether Freddie was innocent or guilty of the allegations? You remember that?
Oh yeah.
That question the film sort of raised. Oh, are we going to take this film are we going to twist Freddie's character and actually make him an innocent victim in all of this? Well, they find out they didn't, and it turns out, seconds before this, Quentin was warming himself up by checking out her Polaroids from her play school days
Mm.
Jesus wept. This man is Freddie Jr. He's Freddie Prince Jr. Oh god,
Oh,
no.
jeez. Yeah, it's as you say, yeah. Quentin has literally just found the Polaroids that confirm that Freddie is an Epstein Island appreciator.
Yeah.
It's really grim. The film is handling this really well. You know, basically, this is one of those things in film. How do you kind of show? I'll just call it CP. Okay, we all know what we're talking about here. Grim stuff. How do you convey that on film without using anything actually horrible and illegal? This is something films struggle with. Usually, you just have a character reaction. In this one, they stick with that as well, but they let you briefly, blurrily see that the Polaroid is of a young boy wearing not much in the way of clothing. You have a few frames to catch that, and then everything else is sold on Quentin's reaction, right? So it's handled tastefully, it's handled as disturbing for about 40 seconds. And
Yeah.
after that, after they have both just basically looked at Polaroids of evidence of each other's abuse, or I believe specifically Nancy is definitely mentioned, they kiss. And they kiss whilst sitting on Freddy Krueger's bed,
Oh,
which is likely where those Polaroids were taken.
yep. I didn't even think of that. Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying, TCG, if I were on the production crew at some point, I'd have said, like, guys, do we want to
I'm,
rain check on if they have to kiss in the movie? Like, there's a production note saying your two leads have to kiss. How about they do that before they find the nonce stash?
I'm literally getting that scene from the Mitchell and Webb show where they're both wearing the Hugo Boss outfits, and David Mitchell just turns around and goes, "Hans, are we the bad guys?"
This'll be how about this as a throwback? Do you remember Blades of Glory with Will Ferrell and that guy from Napoleon Dynamite?
Oh right, I haven't seen that film. I know the film, but I haven't seen it. But
yeah, it's not a ringing endorsement from me, but there is a cool moment in it when the female love interest is basically talking about her parents died in a car crash.
right,
And that's why she's sort of on her own, and like she's just got this quiet moment with the Napoleon Dynamite guy. Sorry, I can't remember his name, but it's just like a quiet moment, and then he moves in for the kiss, and she's like, "Oh, I never thought of that as a romantic moment." It's like, it's great at like capturing. Yeah, films do this. Films will like really have someone talk about how their dog was just put down, and then basically get busy. It's like this weird cinematic logic. This is the worst example of it that has ever been committed to film.
yeah. Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah. There was also a question upstream that I felt I should get to. It was from Lawrence asking, does a crucifix appear in this film? Because I pointed out that they were rarely seen in the commentary, or they were rarely seen in the original, and even though they're mentioned a lot, no, I don't believe they are. If I'm wrong on that, I apologize. The closest you get is a kind of non-specific saint medallion that Quentin is wearing, which may be Saint Christopher, but I wasn't certain. He also gives a kind of half-hearted defense of, well, you got to believe in something. And then that's when he kisses her. What if we kissed on the monstrous nightmare nonce bed? No.
Boss. Oh no.
Grim. Not.
You've got to believe in something. I believe in Epstein. No, don't do it.
No. It's so sad because like this scene is strong stuff.
Yeah.
Like, the way they handle the Polaroids, I thought was genuinely good. The bravery to have the Polaroids in there, really good. I've already said about how making Freddy a nonce actually really improves the film and makes it a coherent metaphor. And just this idea of like the girl's spirit just silently watching them as they're uncovering this. It's a really creepy visual that I love.
Yeah, it does make me wonder though how nobody came across this evidence sooner, you know?
Mm.
Given the fact that they were like, "Oh no, we only had your word." But here we are in an abandoned building, so someone must have had to have at some point gone in and gone, "Yeah, this isn't fit for purpose."
Mm.
Shut it down. And they just completely missed this room.
You would wonder.
Yeah, I can forgive maybe missing the Polaroids because they were stashed like within the wall. I think, if I remember correctly, like they were hidden, but
Mm.
you had these. Yeah, yeah,
I hadn't thought about it, but it's a little bit of a stretch that room is still standing on its own. Like some of like haunted artwork is quite good.
yeah,
Adding to it, but yeah, there is a decent question over why that girl is even there. Like in the logic of the film, she just appear in dreams, or is she
I feel
just
like
out in the
she's
real world?
well. I feel like this might be Nancy's inner the. I can't think of the word, but it's like a representation of Nancy's innocence and the innocence that was stolen from her by Freddie.
Yeah. No, definitely,
So
definitely.
I think that's more what it was. Freddie was
She's
a
a good
huge
creepy
donor to the
kid.
Democrat Party. Yeah,
Yeah.
Freddie was
Also,
a huge donor to the Democratic Party.
there's some really good stuff on this. Oh dear, 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 dear. There's when Chris finds the doll, like the indicator there, just this slashing of the doll's clothes. You know, we know what that means, but also it gives you that little hint of like the older "show me on the doll where"
Yeah,
dialogue. You know, it sort of puts that into your head.
definitely.
It's a nice moment. It's a creepy moment, and it's done quite consistently. I just wonder why we don't get it from anyone else. But it does raise an interesting question. So we've obviously point out one of the biggest flaws, and people will want us to discuss one of the potential others. But I thought some. Oh, we need to point out Murgoot did catch quite a lot of continuity errors.
Okay.
In this film, if you catch that. I'm terrible at spotting these. My wife is excellent at spotting them. She will just catch them constantly. We're like, oh, what? Huh? Oh, yeah. How do you see that? But Murgoot was catching things like people's hands are being sliced open, then they're touching their face, and there isn't blood all over them, etc.
Yeah.
One of the other things is the writers for this were very keen on the idea of micro naps. Like they looked at what sleep deprivation does to you. And the
Yeah.
idea is you'll have these micro naps where you suddenly drop into sleep, which
Yeah.
I thought was quite a promising idea and quite interesting. But it seems to me that they mostly used that so that they could just jump scare you whenever they wanted to.
True. Yeah. Was a bit of a yeah, there was potential. There was potential. I think it was I do think it was an interesting premise because it wasn't something that had been touched on before, if I'm not mistaken. Because it is an actual thing. But yeah, it does kind of it's kind of just used to just just to boo. He's asleep now.
Yeah, one of the things that you see a heck of a lot in the 2000s remakes is they do love the jump scare. And this found it basically licensed to just do it whenever they wanted.
Yeah.
They really enjoyed it. Lawrence asking whether Freddy's glove appears in the real world or in characters' dreams. as you can imagine it being a symbolic representation of Freddy being an abuser, which only appears in nightmares. All right. So in the original, the glove is very much in real life. It's a definite thing. You see Freddy crafting it in the opening in a scene that was sort of paid tribute to in the Terrifier movie, very directly. So that's part of his thing is he really likes that glove. He crafts it in the real world. In this, my understanding is it's not clear. Like, is his monstrous form really just is it part of his monstrous form where he changed it, or did he really do it? You get one potential answer is in this scene, which I have screen capped. We get a little a unique almost flashback to the real pre-death Freddy, and he's using a 3-pronged gardening claw, and you have to wonder, did he like using that? Like, was that the real life equivalent of the claw? And when Freddy becomes monstrous, does it become sort of part of him? Because intrinsically, that's what he liked using.
I think so. But there was that bit as well, because they find, excuse me, they find what is like a finger knife, didn't they?
Ah, yes.
They do find that. So I don't think, so I think the glove itself probably manifested in the dreams. But
I like that idea a bit more, to be honest, that he just embodies this monstrousness. And like, okay, he's a bit burned in real life. That's how he dies. But he's just a full-on scarred monster all over.
Yeah.
That's so much worse because he's kind of a nightmare embodiment of that. I like that a bit more. And I just think how can I say, what he does is horrific enough. You don't need him to actually craft a very unique device.
Agreed.
Yeah. But while we're on this, that is the other thing we absolutely have to discuss. And I see Daniel has come in with a defense of Jackie Earle Haley here. This is, I think, where we've done quite a defense of this film. Like we pointed out, the noncing storyline is an improvement. It's got a more coherent moral vision. The desperation the characters feel over their lack of sleep is much stronger. Some of the scares, it's a lot harder. I think I've already said it looks great. The music is pretty darn good. There's a more consistent dark tone, so not so much jarring tonal whiplash, etc., etc. So we've done some pretty good praise for this film, but still, it's got a very bad reputation. And a lot of people point to Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy. So, got to ask, is it awful, TCG?
No, it's not awful. It's different. It's different. It's not as like I said earlier in the stream. It's not this comical one line using quick-witted Freddy that people are used to. It is a very much darker, more angry, more bitter, more vengeful kind of Freddy. Again, I think it's a case of you've got such an iconic character with such an iconic look as well to boot, and then you've got this version which kind of almost feels like a skin suit. It looks like Freddy, but it isn't, because it doesn't talk like Freddy. It doesn't sorry, when I say it looks like Freddy, I mean attire wise, like the hat, the jumper, the knife glove, the glove with the knives for fingers. But the face looks nothing like Freddy. The long nose isn't there. the crooked smile isn't there. You know, it just looks weird.
Mm.
But yeah, people had become accustomed to a certain style of Freddy Krueger, and this one, but essentially just went back to its roots, really.
Mm.
And I think it was played by an actor who probably tried his best, and I don't think he did a bad job. Look, I have a Nightmare on Elm Street hoodie, and it is this guy. it is this Freddy. I don't think I don't think it was bad. I just think it was different, and I think at the time people weren't prepared for that,
Mm.
which is why it gets slated.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things that would just age well over time, kind of like Scream 4.
Ooh, you're winning me over instantly with that. Yeah, I think that's fair. It's a shock to people. You know, he's not England, and he's most definitely not later film England.
Mm,
It's a serious attempt to make this film scary, so some of the laughs are taken away, or most of them. He's just got an extremely dark sense of humor, and it's kind of weird because we've got to remember Freddy was a reaction to most of the slasher villains.
yeah,
Most of them were silent, stalky types. You know, obviously
correct.
Michael, Jason, the Burning, was it
Yeah.
Burnsy? You know, don't forget that. Most of them, they did not have a presence. So just like Child's Play, it was a very conscious attempt to react to that and give you something a bit different. And
Mm,
Freddy is a sort of extremely sadistic guy who revels in the fact that he's totally in control of his realm. You know, him just hacking his own fingers off just to show Chris that he can do it and enjoys it, and she can do
yeah.
nothing to him. It's a
Mhm,
very
mhm.
key moment. This film, like many of the other remakes, is trying to put their own stamp on it and say, okay, we're going to actually go for as dark and brutal as possible, and maybe thinking, like, this guy is a child murdering nonce. Like, we're not going to make anyone like him. Like, trying to get at him trying to get some laughs is going to fall really flat. So they
Yeah.
play a lot more serious. But I think the only problem is it is very different, and I'm afraid it does come off to me as flat.
Mm,
The scenes with him do feel a bit flat and lifeless.
they
That's the
do.
main problem with them.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things about Freddy, even in the original, where obviously he's a far more sort of menacing character, there's a level of like range in the performance, you know, like when he's stalking his victims, you know, you can tell there's a level of enjoyment that he's getting out of it, whereas this guy is kind of almost like, it's almost like treating like a 9 to 5. He's like, yeah, I'm coming to get you guys, I'm gonna kill you, yeah, whatever, you know.
That is the delivery. It's a
Yeah.
bit lifeless.
Just, you know, I'm just getting paid to do this. I don't really care, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like,
and it's so sad, like, because he turns in some great performances in some scenes. Like, I'm thinking of the one where the parents hunt him down, and an excellent Clancy Brown. Let's get him up quickly because I've got this nice. I love this shot.
yeah,
The wonderful two-tone lighting, excellent here. Him panicking as he was being hunted down was excellent. I loved it.
100%.
Desperation, but he gets, you know, when he's outside of that, just like the fire's gone, ironically, for Freddy.
Yeah.
So it just, I don't know. The vibe is that's the thing I can't really defend, and I can only assume it's just that's the kind of direction that Jackie L. Haley got.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and we
agree.
don't need him to be the original Freddy, or even Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6 Freddy. But I just struggled with a sense of sort of flatness when he was in his scenes.
Yeah.
Alas.
Yeah.
And then because the the makeup looks great. And
I
what a
agree.
talented actor.
Yep.
He looks really good. Let's get him up again. I think it looks really good. Like, this is one of the ones when people say he looked trash. No, he looks great. It's advanced makeup. It's that really good prosthetic CGI blend. It's creative. He looks great.
I agree. Like I say, it looks the part 100%. I absolutely agree. It looks the part. But there was just something. There was just something about the performance overall. I think that people just didn't take too kindly to at the time. And yeah, it's a shame, really. Like I say, I feel like it's a film that kind of aged better with time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if it came out, well, not came out now, because probably people would still say the same. But you know, if there was kind of like a retrospective of this, if someone did like a retrospective of it, I feel like they'd look at it more kindly than they might have done if they had just watched it in a theater at the time.
Oh, absolutely. Can I throw something else out there, TCG?
You can throw whatever you like out there. It's your channel.
Is it just, did people have fatigue? Because it's 2010. They'd been getting, about 7 years of these. It's coming quite late in the day. Maybe, as well as, it's not exactly what they wanted. It's, tonally, it's a very big departure from the original. Was it just coming a bit late in the trend, and therefore people weren't, just weren't as up for it?
Maybe. I don't know, though. I mean, were there any remakes that came out soon after this?
Oh, that's a good question. You move into Carrie, which is sort of a Stephen King remake wave. That's 2013. Shall I just have a little bit of a look?
Yeah.
Have
Oh,
a
by the
Google.
way, Dissident Night, because you've been sort of going through Proper Horror Shows archive, the Carrie streams that we did, or I think we did one stream, but we covered all 4 films, if I remember correctly.
We did indeed. That was an endeavor. I think I told you, Harry, and Poe, just watch as many as you can stand.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think I watched I watched 3 versions of Carrie and the Carrie sequel, Carrie to the Rage, and my brain was breaking.
I'm trying to think if oh man, I'd be quite disappointed if I didn't, but I might have to go back and have a look at that and see what I actually and see what I actually watched. I'm sure I watched them all. Sure I did. Yes, Daniel, it was. Yeah, the Friday the 13th movie was 2009, so it came out slightly before. And again, that was one that wasn't that well received. But I'm sorry, but yeah. And again, flash reference. Danielle Panabaker, that's her name, Panabaker. Yeah, she was in that. Yeah, again, I feel like look at it nowadays with the power of hindsight. I don't think that was a bad film. I didn't think it was a bad film at the time.
Absolutely not. I put it forward as one of the best.
Yeah, but for some reason, it didn't seem to strike the right notes. I think with the film critics, not that they really know what they're talking about, but it was a shame, really.
Yeah,
and I think this one was kind of same. So you might actually be onto something there with the old fatigue theory.
Yeah, I've got a few more for you. So 2011, we had Fright Night.
Oh yeah,
Straw Dogs. The Thing prequel was 2011.
Okay.
And then 2012, you've got Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh.
Woman in Black. I don't really count that. That's not okay. It is a remake, but it's a. I can't put my finger on why it feels like a different thing, but
Mm.
it is. And Maniac with Elijah Wood. So we had a few more to go. But yeah, it's running a bit slow at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I think you might be onto something with the old fatigue, but but again, yeah, I feel like as well. Just sort of thinking about it, because again, we're talking about Freddy Krueger being an iconic character, and it's kind of he's almost irreplaceable in that sort of sense. It'd be like remaking Back to the Future,
Mm.
even if it's a good film, it won't feel the same, no matter who you put in that. It just wouldn't feel the same.
No.
So,
I mean, put it this way: how many Michael Myers did they go through? How many Jasons did they go through? But there was only Robert Englund
yeah,
for the
exactly.
whole, and that tells you quite a lot.
Yeah, precisely.
Oh, Open Wounds has dropped by, sending £5. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Saying good old Sharp Hand Joe. Just for me to say hi. Well, you are super welcome. Super welcome. Thank you ever so much. Very good to see you. Yeah, so my fatigue theory, I think I'm gonna hold on to. I think a decent chance of that being true or a contributing factor, but yeah, sometimes it just doesn't land. And just like you say with Scream 4, if it's not exactly what people are expecting, people react quite badly. I mean, I'm off to Swindon tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about one of the things I'm going to be talking about is Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me.
Okay.
A classic case of people just not getting what they want and absolutely chimping, and then it taking more than 25 years for people to start looking back and saying, actually, that film was pretty darn good.
Fair enough. Fair enough indeed.
Yeah, it does happen. So I think maybe it's a little bit of my fatigue theory, but also a lot of your theory of it just wasn't what people were expecting.
Yeah. I definitely like that fatigue theory though, because it's kind of resonating even now. Like again, just the comic book references tonight, but like the whole Marvel thing, the whole Marvel superhero fatigue. But I think that's a far more extreme version because of the amount of films that have been pumped out in the last like decade and a half. Whereas with the horror films, there hasn't been that many in comparison. But I think if you're not getting enough original material, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, here we go. They remade, I don't know, they remade Halloween. Oh, it's Rob Zombie doing it. Oh god, that's going to be shocking. Oh look, they've remade it. Oh, they've remade Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street. Sorry, they've remade this, that, and the other. It's like, okay, we just want, yeah.
No,
I mean,
absolutely.
when we started to see, I think when we started to see the remakes and the reboots of classic horror genre, it was like, oh no, they're running out of ideas, aren't they? This is not good.
Yeah, people had that feel, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly by the time we're doing the second remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night, but I think this was a good idea at the start because I think, as I've said, a lot of these originals, you look at them, they've got a big reputation, but a lot of them are very ropey. A lot of them are very rough. They're being made on extremely low budgets by people quite early in their careers trying to figure stuff out. And so there are some, really shoddy bits in them.
Absolutely.
Even if the ideas are golden. And why not remake them? Keep the golden ideas and just polish it up a bit.
100%. 100%. Yeah, it's the older films basically carried on vibes and nostalgia, and I think the people watching the films generationally at the time would have been more reactive to the stuff that they were seeing because it was almost kind of revolutionary, I suppose, in terms of the level of horror that was being sort of on display, especially in the 80s with all the with the with the body horror and all that stuff. Nowadays, however, everyone's so used to it, like, you know, it doesn't. It would take a hell of a lot to get the same sort of visceral reaction that a character like Freddy Krueger, who
Mm,
literally gets you in your sleep. I mean, how fucking scary is that supposed to be? And
mm.
then you just sort of, but you're exposed to so much, shit in real life nowadays that it just doesn't, it don't work,
No.
The jump scares are the scariest thing about it, but you could quite happily watch the most gory piece of like horror in the world, and then you come out of the cinema and you're like, right, what should we get for dinner? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Yeah, it takes something special to get under the skin nowadays
Yeah,
and just shake you up and oof.
yeah, and
Um,
I just don't think that Freddy Krueger in 2010 would have had the same sort of impact as Freddy Krueger in when was the original film released? Was it
85, I
83,
want to
85?
say.
Wow.
Yeah. It's 84 or 85.
Yeah, yeah, Freddy Krueger in the 80s would have been far more impactful than Freddy Krueger in 2010, because kind of like, graphically you've seen it all before.
It's
By
that thing like you
2010.
can't be wowed. It's the horror equivalent of you can't be wowed by effects anymore.
Yeah. I've just seen Lawrence's comment about the monstrosity in Smile comes closer than most to recreating the horror of A Nightmare on Elm Street, a creature that can target you anywhere in which no one else can see or interact with.
Yes.
Absolutely, 100%. The only thing that bugs me about that is in the second one, you see what it looks like, and I'm like, they didn't need to do that. They didn't need to do that. I much preferred it when it was just the not touching your eyes smile. Jesus Christ, like that. That is far
Oh,
better.
I loved it. I loved how it looked like the Forever Alone meme. Like, sorry, I will.
Freaky,
For
yes,
me,
but it was like, okay, didn't need to see
yeah,
that.
Smile 2 was one of my favorite horror movies in a
It
long
is good.
time.
It is
I had
good.
a great time. Paul Allen has sent in 10 English pounds. Very much appreciated. Oh, love to see it. Thank you. Saying, hi, it's been a while. Have you watched Pluribus? If you like Severance, you'll like it. Good sci-fi. Well, I'll answer that first. I haven't, but many people have recommended it to me. I mean, it's got Vince Gilligan making it. It's got Rhea Seehorn, who is one of the absolute best things in Better Call Saul. I mean, basically the best character, if you ask me, until Lalo comes on the scene and unfairly steals all the limelight by being amazing. So yeah, I was kind of sold on that already. But I otherwise do not know much about it. I saw one very weird trailer that made it look extremely high concept. But yeah, if you're comparing it positively to Severance, then that is a good vote for me. Yes, I absolutely loved Severance. This is, if you've only just arrived, this is going to sound a bit weird, but TCG, way back, we were talking about how sort of technology ended up forced onto the screen. Just because of how ubiquitous it is, it becomes weird if a movie doesn't address it. I feel like Severance was doing that for the general reaction we're having to working in offices, basically.
Yeah.
Like, something about post-COVID has meant that people are looking at the office and just thinking, no, being a wagey is the ultimate horror. And it's starting to, it's really expressing itself now in a few ways that I find really interesting. Have you seen Severance, TCG?
I've watched some of it. I've watched some of the first season. Admittedly, I haven't watched it all. I liked what I saw. But of course, the only Severance I've seen in full was the 2007 Danny Dyer film of the same name.
Classic.
Oh, love that film.
Classic. Yeah. Interesting. It didn't grab it. For me, it was one of those ones where I watched one episode and then I basically just blitzed. I think 7 in the weekend. I came close to binging it.
Oh, I need to check to see if I can get like a free trial again on Apple TV, because it's on that, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, yeah. I'd recommend it. I had a really good time. So,
If
Pluribus. Sorry, Pluribus. I do want to watch it.
Yeah.
I say just free time to watch stuff is very limited at the moment. So
Yeah, likewise. I too have heard good things about Pluribus, but I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things.
And how about Thirst 1979? I have not heard that one at all.
Neither have I.
No. But given that you said it was 1979, I will say we have been talking in the planning chat about just trying to go a little more obscure. I picked up a book called House of Psychotic Women by Kia La Jeunesse, and that is brilliant. Incredibly interesting horror review book, and it just picks out these extremely obscure gems, and it had a load of kind of like sleazy 1970s UK horror that made me think, oh, I've never heard of that before. We should cover that. We might be the only people who ever talk about this movie. So if that's nice and obscure in 1970s, I might go for that as well.
Why not? Why the hell not?
Yeah. I mean, look, February is going to be a weird month for this channel, TCG. We're going to be talking Bone Temple. We're going to be talking Scream
Oh my God.
7. This is dangerously current.
Yeah, I was supposed to. Mate, you just reminded me. I need to call my brother at the tomorrow because he phoned me earlier. Because he's desperate to go and watch the Bone Temple, and I said we'd watch it this week, but yeah, obviously everything that's been going on, I'm like, no time. So yes, I'll hope to go see that next week at some point. I think that Crime Lad wants to go as well, so that should be a fun evening.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. I'll be trying to go out as well. Yeah, so we're going to be dangerously current, so I think we need to counteract that and go for something extremely unpopular.
Why not? You love something that's extremely unpopular.
Yeah. Oh, look. Oh, check this out. Daniel Garcia has said Mr. Frost with Jeff Goldblum is a horror gem. It is indeed. And we covered it. We had this excellent recommendation for it. Was that 1995, Mr. Frost?
Oh my God, did we?
Yeah. We covered it way back in the day.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Nice obscure horror. I have no idea what arc it was in. It might have been a member request, but
oh my God, we did. It was
we
only
did.
a year ago.
I know. See, this is why I like we are here for the obscure stuff. We are never going to be a popular horror channel. We do not give you the 10-minute super safe take with a bubs out.
Double feature
TCG
horror show
never gets his bubs out.
Well, here's the thing. It was double feature horror show 157, and I wasn't there, so I didn't.
Oh,
TCG sadly called away. Oh yeah,
there we go.
I wasn't there for that one.
That explains it. It was an interesting one. Well, I feel we may be veering off at this point. So shall we? Unless there was anything else about Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Oh, by the way, sorry. One other thing we're talking about why it's got a terrible recommendation. But sorry, reputation, not recommendation. But this made bank.
Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I know, but then so did bloody Captain Marvel. Again, comic book reference.
True.
That's a $1 billion film, that is, and nobody likes it.
True.
Last Jedi is a $1 billion film. Nobody likes it. Yeah,
but, I mean,
it's a shame.
It doesn't deserve this, does it, TCG? Look at that. That's just cruel.
Hang on, who gave the 14%? Was that the critics?
Critics, yeah.
Fuck, that's nasty. That is.
That's just unfair.
Even 43% from the just from the wider audience. That's brutal. That's harsh.
It's very cruel. I've got to say, people, this is people going in with expectations and not looking at the film as is. I think very unfair. Very unfair. So yeah, I think you're right. This film needs a reappraisal, and that is what we're doing here.
Hell yeah.
Am I giving it an S tier? No. Goodness no. But am I saying it's a bit? Well, maybe we should actually move on to our ratings. Yes, indeed, Maverick. Critics like
Yeah,
cuties.
it's very true.
Oh, look, I've got to say this.
Well, they should have loved this film then, surely.
Yeah. Daniel has mentioned obscure horror. Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. I will let you in on a little behind the scenes thing. I have been trying to push that film for quite a while. I've put to channel members a meta horror arc 3 times, and every time, like, no one voted for meta horror. And so
Keep resisting, members. Keep resisting.
It'll never happen, I'm afraid. So I never get to cover the Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Never mind.
Maverick, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. This diddler doesn't get defeated, not at the end.
Yeah, they did bring back the absolute nonsense ending.
Yeah.
But just
yeah. But you say it's nonsense, but to me it makes sense. I mean, he died the first time. Where did he go? Into the dream world. What do you think is going to happen if he dies again?
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect? I'm sorry.
To
me, it makes perfect sense.
They have not uncovered the way to actually kill him. So yeah, sure. It's at least no less nonsense than the original ending, infamously tacked on. So there you go. Oh, Al saying, yeah. Oh, I've convinced Al that we can.
No. LT said they'll give you a vote on the next poll.
It won't be enough.
Don't do it. Don't vote for the meta horror arc.
One day, surely, one day.
Mind you,
all right.
Like, I mean, screw democracy at some point. Am I right?
Based.
If democracy fails enough times.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you've been around this channel quite a long time. Yeah. If you're saying that, I'm having a bad effect on you. Well, as I said, we'll get to our actual scores and rankings now. So here we go. Hopefully you can see this TCG. We've got our custom scoring here, and we've got our little title for Nightmare on Elm Street 2010.
Little title for the little Freddy.
Yeah, little Freddy. Where are you ranking it? Let's rank it first on the fidelity. Is it an ultra faithful remake? Is it a very in name only, like House of Wax?
Nah, it's up there, isn't it? It's got to be up there.
It's pretty faithful, pretty darn faithful.
Yeah,
same kills, character names have changed, but
I mean, even as alluded to earlier, if Freddy was supposed to be the Haribo enjoyer that he is in this one from the original, all they've done is really just bring that angle back at a time when it was perhaps, I don't know, I wouldn't say more convenient, but yeah, if there was stuff going on at the time in the 80s which made sort of producers go, really, then yeah, I mean, yeah. they just went, yeah, okay, we'll throw that back into the mix.
Yeah,
why
not
do it now? So yeah, so I mean, it's not even really that much of a veer away from the character, and you can almost certainly allude to Freddy being that kind of person from the originals. I just wonder if so I think it's up there. The kills sort of were quite reflective of the original, just sort of beefed up by advancements in sort of special effects and I'd say CGI, but yeah, the CGI was a bit questionable in this. But yeah.
Okay, fair play. How about the quality?
Quality, right? Okay, so if we're talking burgers, I might piss off a few people in chat here, but I again, this is not a masterpiece. It is not a masterpiece. It has its flaws. It's quite formulaic. It is somewhat formulaic in its telling of the story, but it ain't a 43% film. It definitely isn't a 14% film. It's just a very different sort of. It is a different depiction of Freddy that I think at the time people just weren't prepared for, weren't ready for. Would I have said Rorschach was a better Freddy? God, no, not at all, not at all. But then it's like saying, who can top your favorite Superman, or who can top your favorite, Iron Man.
Mm,
When you think of Iron Man, people think of Robert Downey Jr. They don't think of, you know,
I think Schwarzenegger. But
I am Iron Man.
oh wait, it's not
I am
called that, is
Tony
it? It's Pumping Iron. Damn.
Pumping Iron. I'm pumping Iron
Sorry.
Man. I beg your pardon. No, that's the gay blue film called Pumping Iron Man that you're thinking of.
Oh dear, that's it.
Um,
That's it.
but I'm going to sort of say, I'm going to push it to a 7.
Ooh, okay, an
I-
early bid for a 7.
Yeah, I don't want to say I don't want to say a 6. It does feel very middle of the road, but I like it more than.
Oh wait, no, I've put it way too far.
Yeah, that's way too
It'll
far.
be about there.
But I
Be
like
about
it. I like it more. I like it more than a 6. I think it's a 7. I mean, the burgers do have some questionable CGI ketchup.
Yeah.
But yeah, it fills a hole for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not the best horror film you're ever going to see. It's not I wouldn't even say it's arguably the best horror remake. But yeah, I think it's terribly, terribly underrated.
I should think you make a very good case. So, like, I'm not going to fight at all on the faithful score. There's lots of things that are different, but like, let's just talk about one of the things taken out. If you watch the pitch meeting on A Nightmare on Elm Street, there's some pretty damning assessments of the logic of this film, including, Nancy getting basically the anarchist cookbook, and in a 20-minute timer managing to set up like 4 or 5 real traps in the house. Like, the timing of the battle at the end really does not work out. You have to ignore stuff like that. This removes it. This removes that. Keeps it a bit more grounded. That's already an improvement. We've talked about the moral aspect of the film being stronger. Stylistically, it's a fair bit stronger. So there's a lot to go for in this. Is it as enjoyable as the original? No. There's a charisma to the original, and not just in Freddie, but in the other actresses. Heather Langenkamp, very winning. Rooney Mara is a little cutie. You like her, but she is understandably playing quite an introverted girl. Maybe if you dyed her hair purple, gave her a choker, she'd be even more endearing. But already it's
Cool.
nice.
And call her Amelia?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lovely name, right? It'd be ameliorating the film.
That's a proper British name, isn't it? A proper patriotic British name.
Classic. So, big improvements are made. It's mostly like, I think our problem with this film is a tone problem. It's not as fun a world to be in, but there is lots of great stuff in this. I can't, like, 6 is like borderline watch or don't watch. This isn't a 6. Is it a 9? No. I think 7 is right. I think you've got it.
Get in.
I think 7 is right. Yeah. It's mostly a tone problem, but this is a very solid movie. There is just the flatness of the Freddy performance is your big drag. It's hard to get away from that. So yeah, that seems about fair. I think we convinced Dr. Prepper to go to 8 out of 12 burgers.
I think
I've got a single burger from Maverick. We did not convince Maverick. And Distant Night, I noticed, sent in 4 burgers, burnt dry, smashed crab patty burgers. Although he actually liked the writing, but it is Haley shit the bed too. Unfortunately. Yeah, all right. It's unfortunate because it really comes at the end, and it is going to dampen. It's sort of your lasting impression ends very much on Freddy. So,
oh, wait a minute. That one burger wasn't a rating. That was just Maverick saying he just likes posting the burger.
Oh, good.
Which I think to be
score from you, Maverick.
I think we should, on this occasion, because it has got Mr. Krabs in it. That the burgers that we are cooking tonight are definitely Krabby Patties.
Krabby Patty's got to be. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. Open Wounds has also come in with another donation. Thank you ever so much, sending another £5, saying, "I
Wait,
think
what?
this movie bombed because Bollywood already made the Ultimate Freddy remake with Mahakal." Yeah,
What?
I will trust you on that. I will say I saw a Bollywood remake of like one of the exorcism films, and it really made me want to watch a lot more of them. Like,
Was there a dance scene?
yes,
Oh my god!
it was kind of like, yeah, it was a lot like The Conjuring. Basically, it was Bollywood The Conjuring, and it had lots of. It was set in England. It was called London 1920. It's quite bizarre, but also quite fascinating to get a look at, like, what does this foreign culture think of us, and how do our ideas look
So
when
just
they're
double
put
check.
through the Bollywood filter?
Just double check. This was the Poltergeist you said, right?
I think it might have been.
Or was
It
The
felt like The
Exorcist, you say?
Conjuring.
Oh, The Conjuring. I was going to
It's
say,
about an exorcism, but
right.
it tries to do an exorcism with no Christianity.
Gotcha. No, it's right, because I was thinking of the Poltergeist. If they did a Bollywood remake in the dance scene, they'd be like, "Go into the light of Caroline."
Well, how they do it is really quite fun. Look, I'm gonna confirm this. It's London 19? Is it 19?
I am not even joking. I kind of want to watch some Bollywood horror now.
Oh, I think it is. Yeah, it was 1920 London. Honestly, give it a look. It's mad, and I think us watching Bollywood horror would be quite fun.
I think we should. I actually think we should, especially if there's like The Exorcist.
Oh no.
Comment of the night. Thank you. Conjuring the Sun.
Dr. Prepper, that is absolutely class.
That's brilliant. I think that might actually win comment of the evening. Oh, there you go.
Instead of
Maverick gave it
Halloween.
7.
Hello, Queen. Please post bombs in the Oh dear.
There you go. 7. Solid 7 from Maverick.
Excellent.
Wouldn't be rushing to the
Maverick's gone for
store.
7.
But
It looks like
definitely get
I have. Oh, what have I done there? Messed that up. See, you're getting absolutely slandered on Rotten Tomatoes, but look, this. Nah. I think we've managed to bring this up a bit. We've persuaded people. Lawrence said he's been persuaded. Yeah, this is not a 9. This is not a 10 burger. If you're reaching out for a horror movie, are you going to go for this one? Probably not. But is this a trash heap? No. That's When a Stranger Calls.
Yeah. This is a very watchable horror film. Like 14%. That's crazy. Actually, while you're on that page, are you actually on that page, or is it like a screen grab?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Check When a Stranger Calls.
Should we have a
I'm
look?
really intrigued. Yeah, I'm really intrigued.
That's the one.
This is unwatchable because they can't fucking act.
Oh my god. One of those big, just like
Okay, right, okay. Fair
Deserved.
enough. Okay. So the critics got okay. So the critics are okay. So there is a level of standard. There is a standard that they have. Okay, fine. Okay. But however, I have to say, audience scores 44%. Are you having a laugh? Like, how do you rate that 1% higher than A Nightmare 2010? Like,
come on, guys, come on.
No, the critics are actually outdoing the audience on this one. That's bad. Come on.
Confirmed. Turning my world upside down. Well, yeah, exactly, Laku. Rare W for the critics.
I mean, I would argue 80% is still too high, but I mean, at least it's lower than the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street, which is I'm surprised actually to see that. I'm more surprised actually that, as I say, at the 44%. Like, that's bad.
I've just realised, for all the referencing of The Exorcist, why has no one gone for The Conjuring.
What?
No one has done that.
Ah,
Come on, guys. Come on. It
come
was right there.
on.
It was right there. It was right there. With that, I think we should round things off. As I said, I've got to head out very early so I can get to Swindon to record the remaining 2 parts of the David Lynch series. So look forward to that, folks. So I think we probably do need to round things off now that we've got the scores out. But yeah, TCG, thank you ever so much.
No problem at all. Pleasure as always. And very quickly, if I may, I did drop a new
yes.
short on the channel late this in the early hours of this morning. Go and check it out because essentially it's like a little preview to the full video that I will be doing, which I was hoping to get out tomorrow, but yeah, as I say, shit happened and I haven't worked on it. So, but I'm going to get it out as soon as possible. But go and check that YouTube short out. It is titled "She Was Murdered on a Train."
Ooh, yes. Go. There is a link to TCG's channel. Oh, I got.
Oh, that is.
You've got to say it. Say it.
You bloody Valentine. May you bloody Valentine. You're you bloody Valentine.
Incredible. Paul Allen. Thank you.
You bloody bastard guy.
That's fantastic.
I love that meme. Those two Indian
That's
guys
really
arguing.
tickled me.
I actually really want to. I'm not even joking. I want to see really want to watch some Indian horror films.
Carry to the Raj.
Oh
no, we'll stop. We're done. All right. Okay. Well, I suppose there's one other thing we've got to do. We've got to do your horror homework. The only problem is I have not decided it. So what I think we might do is maybe we'll push our Halloween Resurrection watch to next week.
Woohoo!
What do you reckon? Should we try and do it? Should we try and do it like a live? Shall I try and get a version of the film through the horrific filter?
God. What actually live stream? Oh yes. Absolutely.
I'll see if I can do it. You might have to watch the most ganky, distorted version of the film, but I think it's better if you see something. So I will get you the most potato quality version of the film possible. But that is your homework. Halloween Resurrection. You can go in dry if you want, but maybe give it a watch beforehand.
Yeah,
But
bring your own
that's
pillow
what we're gonna
chat.
do.
Bring your own pillow chat. You're gonna need to bite it.
Oh God. There we go. Halloween Resurrection 2008, I believe. And we will be covering that next week. So thank you ever so much. You incredibly generous super chatters tonight. Much appreciated. Thank you for the recommendations. And thank you to everyone keeping it lively. And of course, to TCG for joining me for a good laugh tonight.
As I said, pleasure as always. Thank you for having me. And chat, you guys, as always, have been amazing and entertaining as well.
Excellent. All right. Lovely stuff. We'll leave it there. You have had your extremely wide-ranging review of A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. You've got your horror homework, and you've got a good reason to go to lotuseaters.com and start watching the David Lynch series. And most important, bloody good streams.
Tandoori terror is now a genre. Oh God, I really, really hope that Indian horror is actually like a real thing, like a proper thing.
Texas Chainsaw Madrassacre.
Oh, for God's sake!
Right, we have got to get out of here. We've got to get out of here. All right, Conjuring 2, The Nun. No, we're done. We're out. All right, bless you. I hope you've got a fantastic Friday ahead, a lovely weekend after that, and I want you filling this stream with terrible Bollywood horror puns.
Steve Delhi.
Oh my goodness. Goodbye, chat. Goodbye.
Oh, Raj door on the left. Right.